is in YouTube. All right, I'm going to click go live here so the world can see us. Says that we're live. There we go. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Let YouTube buffer up a little bit there so get ready to go. Anybody in the audience want to say hello in the chat? Go ahead. We are definitely monitoring that. Give everybody a few more minutes to come in. David Martinez, hello. He says the world is watching.
Is that the YouTube chat?
Yep, YouTube chat.
I've
got it open over here. I'll definitely monitor it. We got Eric. Hello, Eric. How do we look? Oh, and I just got the push notification that TabGeeks is live. Look at that. Hello, Christina. You can hear Alex's clackety clack in the background there. Mechanical keyboard signature sound.
You know it. That's the only way to go.
You know, I haven't gone down that path. I'm a big fan of the Logitech MX keys. Best typing experience I've got, but I've always liked the flatter setup as opposed to the clickety clackety.
These are supposed to be the quiet ones.
Well, you've got a really good mic then. Hello, Ash. Hello, Nicholas.
There you go. I'm on the YouTube chat, you know. Started the YouTube in parallel and
Yeah.
hello from Calgary, Brian.
Hello, Brian.
Hope you got some decent weather over there, because from my experience with Calgary, it's cold. Since you're sharing your keyboard, I will shamelessly do a plug for if anyone has not tried the Moonlighter. The Moonlighter split keyboards are amazing. So I'm a huge fan of anything ErgoDox. And yes, you can name
I've never tried that. Wow. Very cool. Let's give another few minutes here. People are still coming on. I see our current viewers are going up and up, which is good. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If you haven't already sent them into the to our forums. Brian says it was warm last week, but now it's freezing.
Yeah, is that like a Calgary warm where it's like minus 10 Celsius?
Well, it was 100 degrees Fahrenheit here in Long Beach, California last week. I was laughing at Steve. He's like, it's snowing here. I was just like, man, I can't even think about snow right now.
We had decent weather here in Seattle for like the longest. Oh God, it's pouring right now. Okay.
Oh, there it goes.
It was snowing in the mountains yesterday, and like people were like, "Oh, snow season's done, right?" Nope, back to skiing. So it's been pretty cool.
Awesome. We got no substitute casting into the big living room TV. It's very exciting.
I say I think we get started here.
I'm good to go if you guys are. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to our first ever quarterly Google Chrome and managed browser update, produced of course by the TabGeeks Network and hosted by us at Workspace Recap. We recently had Alex on our Google Workspace Recap show and realized we could talk for days about everything Google Chrome, and so we invited him to join us regularly for an update show. Google has been very busy building out Chrome and of course outdeveloped Microsoft to the point of them throwing in the towel and just adopting Chromium for Edge, so that's better for everybody that way. Anyway, we wanted to bring you the same flavor of updates to Google Chrome that we provide for Workspace on Google Workspace Recap. Many of you in the audience already know. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. It's my pleasure to introduce Alex Bauer, a Google Chrome wizard over at Google. Alex, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, I don't know if it's a wizard, but yeah, Alex Bauer. I would say more of a priest, because we spread the gospel of Chrome to our customers, right? But yes, I work at Google. So I help enterprise customers with onboarding or adopting or managing or whatever, anything that deals with Chrome. So yep, I've been here at Google for 3 years now, and it feels like forever. And we work very closely with the engineering team as well. So we are like the voice of the customers to the engineers, and then we are the voice of the engineers to the customers when we want to test new features and so forth. So yeah, I guess that's why we play too many hats and too many roles, and yeah.
Well, I'm
And
loving your
one,
Chrome swag hat right there.
Yeah, I have one on the side for you. I keep
Oh,
meaning to get
yes.
it for you.
I
What were
was
you gonna
saying
say,
one
Steve?
just kind of clarifying point is this is Alex focuses on the Chrome browser rather than Chrome OS. There's a distinction between that within the teams at Google. So this is primarily
Yeah.
focused on the Chrome browser experience on Windows, Mac, Linux devices, for example.
However, if any of you guys are interested in Chrome OS or Chrome OS Flex, which is our newest addition to the Chrome OS or Chrome umbrella, reach out to me and I'll route you to the right guys because I know people that know people.
Excellent. Yeah, I was just talking to the team internally about that yesterday. It's been really difficult to source Chrome hardware lately, and so I was like, well, we have these other Windows boxes, and they're currently, I mean, they're getting old. They really need to be replaced, but if we can't get the inventory, hey, maybe we should get a couple of drives and image them with Flex and give that a shot. So.
Yep. Even though I don't do anything other than Chrome browser, they're actually giving us a hookup with a Chrome OS Flex certified device very soon. So I definitely want to play with it a lot, get familiarized with the product, and I want to see if there's better ways or guides I can put together on how to dual boot Chrome OS Flex and Windows. So
Nice.
the fun life of a hacker
Let
or
the fun begin.
modder, whatever. Yeah.
And everybody in the audience, if you are familiar with the Buganizer, the Chromium bug uh, organizer, I guess, you will likely recognize Alex's name from a number of different bugs. We have a couple of them that we're probably going to talk about today. For the most part here, we've got a bunch of topics that we discussed in episode 10 when we had Alex on the show before. But I'm going to turn the floor over to Alex and Steve to kind of just wind them up and let them go. And with my input, of course, and do a little analysis. And we want this to also be a conversation. So please submit your questions on the chat. And I will definitely be keeping an eye on that and making sure that my co-hosts here are aware of the questions. And let's get into it. What's new with Chrome browser?
Well,
Chrome browser.
sorry, I got squirreled by Ash's comment. Ash said that he loves Chrome OS Flex and he just converted a bunch of Windows laptops. Yes.
Nice.
Love to hear that. Even though it's not my product, right? But it's awesome. But what's new with Chrome? Lots of things are new with Chrome. We've reached our major milestone. We're officially geriatrics, right? We hit Chrome 100. And as changes that come with that, the biggest one that I can think of is our user agent string is now a 3-digit user agent string. In case there are some Nick has some Android support. I don't know. Hopefully at some point. In case there are any issues with some apps that are not built correctly, which, as we know, there's plenty of those to run around, that don't read the user agent string correctly and freak out when they get a 3-digit user agent string, we have released a policy that you can deploy through your favorite management tool of choice. And for that, you can it will change the user agent string from 100 dot something dot whatever. It'll be 99.100. So it will stay at 99 for the major version, and we'll move the version to the second set of string digits, and it'll be 99 100, 99 101, 102, and so forth. Um, yeah, if anyone is interested, it's a force major version to minor position and user agent is the policy name, and yeah, that's one of the biggest ones. let me think of what else is going on. There's so many changes that I have to keep searching around of our releases. Let me just see. Yeah, it's not in our console yet. It will hopefully be in our admin console at some point. The other biggest change for our folks that love to manage their platforms, officially as of Chrome 100, we now fully support management for all platforms. So now, that Lord of the Rings comment, the one ring to rule them all, right, is now finally applicable. We now support Windows, Mac, Linux, Chrome OS, Chrome OS Flex, right, and Android and iOS from that same management console. So, in my opinion, that's a really, really big win. We already have a bunch of customers that are testing it or are really excited about managing that. And so I'm pretty happy with that. Oh my God, it's hailing heavily. Okay, sorry, squirrel moment.
Let's hope your internet connection stays up.
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest ones. I know a lot of folks that are Mac users will probably know about this issue with screen sharing being broken in Chrome browser. We, from what I understand, we changed the way we signed the application recently, and in that change of signature, apparently Apple cares about that certificate signature or whatever. For the only permission that it cares for it is the screen sharing. It doesn't care about it for like camera, capture, audio capture, or anything like that. Just the screen capture, and so that broke with Chrome. I think what was it, 98 or so, and supposedly it's fixed in 100. If there's still issues with that, let us know. But yeah, it's I'm pretty excited to not have to deal with that from the customer perspective. And then some new additions to our management console. The biggest one. Let's see if I can share my screen. Yep, I will. I know that I talk a lot about our management console, is because that's probably what we focus a lot of our stuff to kind of differentiate ourselves from our friends down in Redmond or up in Redmond, depending on where you are, right? So, yeah, let me just share my screen. If I share a tab. So one of the biggest additions that we've released is the policy precedence is now in the admin console. So now you are able to change the source or who's the primary source of truth, right? From a policy perspective, from GPO to cloud, and then there's a bunch of other combinations that you can choose. And what this does is it actually sets two different policies on the browser in the background, so you don't have to do that with GPO anymore. So this one was a big. Are you not seeing the screen share, Steve? Oh, there, mind. Okay. So this one was one of my biggest pet peeves that we didn't have in the admin console. It was driving me insane, and so it finally came in. It was released in the console. We're also working on the policy merge list. This is in my beta console, and it should be available in the in production. So this should roll out hopefully by the end of the quarter. So it's being tested right now, but this allows you to set up, merging of different extension sources, extension policy sources from GPO and cloud together. So this one was the second one that kind of was driving me insane. But once
Alex,
we get,
could you zoom in on your screen a little bit?
No.
It's hard for people to see.
How about that?
There we go.
So these are the choices for the precedent. And then the policy merge will be in sometime by the end of the quarter. And that one, the way it would work, it would be something like, let me see if I can copy a setting just to kind of do an example. It would be something like a force list. You can do anything that's a list as a policy, but the ones that people care about is literally these. These three policies. So once you put this in place, if you're still stuck on your legacy management, which is GPO or managed preferences on Mac OS, Now you can just still have that in place, and then also augment with the admin console. I know that we covered a lot of that. That's kind of the biggest hitting points that we've had on our on the roadmap that came out. I know we are working very hard on bringing group support, group management, instead of just OU management in the admin console, which would, the first one out of the gate will be extension management. So that will be a very positive, I guess, addition to the console where you have a little more flexibility. And then after that, we'll have policy through group, but that's going to be sometime at the end of the year. Group extension should be by the end of this, hopefully this quarter, it will be in our beta program. I see some changes to legacy browser support, so it looks like they've added some new open-in rules. And then, yeah, I think I mentioned last time on our previous call, Jesse, or previous podcast, or whatever we call this. If you're not following the Chrome Enterprise release notes, I strongly recommend that you do. You can actually sign up on the bottom side of the page. There's a sign up flow, and then every time we put new release notes for the for Chrome, you get notified. And so that's another one that I strongly recommend. And we're working on hopefully making the release notes page easier to digest. I know that we really love our hamburger menus, and so I've been talking to our product marketing teams and the rest of the folks that run these pages. Hopefully at some point we're going to have a better a page for that, where we have our own dedicated pages for each version. Yes, we might be getting inspiration from some other product that's out there that you can probably guess who. But yeah. Steve, you're on mute.
Yeah, been chatting with Jesse actually over in the in some of the notes here. We're just trying to get some of these links shared with everyone. We'll share them in the description in the video after we do the event
for you.
Yeah.
And I'm also gonna put in the sign up flow. I mean the sign up document or link or whatever. This is where you opt in to get release notes, and so anyone that's interested in reading those, they're available. We've also released a lot of new documentation on our page on how to manage Chrome browser through various other tools. So some of the newer ones, we now have fully documented workflows for Intune. We now have all platforms actually in Intune: Android, iOS, macOS, and Windows. We have mobile RN for Android, iOS, and macOS. We recently released a document for SODI for Android. And we're working on, what's the one? Citrix. And then at some point, I'm trying to get some documentation out for BlackBerry as well. I know there are some, I know, right? Blast from the past, right? But they apparently have a UEM that a lot of, I guess, financial customers use. So I want to get that out of the way, and we'll get those. Oh, Jesus Christ! Now it's right. It's snowing. Sorry. Yeah. So hopefully we'll have those documents out of the way at some point soon. I met the BlackBerry folks at a conference last week. We were at the cyber security conference in Miami. And so, yeah. And by the way, we are doing a lot of events this year that we're participating. So,
yeah, how do we keep track of where you guys might be? And I say you guys, I mean, Chrome, Google, anyone, where you're going to be at, for example.
I'm trying to pull up the link, our spreadsheet, so I can name a few events. But we are doing, okay, there we go. We're doing a lot of the cybersecurity summits. That's kind of like a roadshow and it goes through a bunch of cities. So you'll probably find us at, let's see, I'll tell you all the cities. Next one will be in Denver in May. You'll find my coworker Fletcher presenting. We're also going to do Philadelphia in July, DC Metro in July, Chicago in August. I'm not coming to Chicago, Steve. I'm sorry. My
Ah,
coworker's
come
local.
on.
Charlotte in September. It looks like we're doing LA in October, Boston, New York, and Houston. So we'll do all of those cybersecurity summits. Uh, for our Mac fans, Jamf, we are definitely doing that one. We just signed the agreement, and we're probably going to be major sponsor for that. We're going to have a booth. We're going to hopefully speak at, if that goes well. It should, but yeah. So you'll find us on those. And then we're probably gonna do. Splunk. If anyone's going to Splunk, my coworker Fletcher once again is going to be speaking at Splunk. We're releasing some new connectors from the admin console to be able to send out data to Splunk. And there's another one, a few other Splunk type systems. So we're gonna have those out available. Yeah. Trying to think of what else. Oh,
Are
Ignite.
those connectors getting announced at that event?
Yeah, they're
Or
gonna be announced
there's a few
at Splunk. Yeah.
Perfect.
And then we'll be if Ignite. I think they changed the name, or no, Ignite is happening. I think you might see us doing walk around the Ignite conference. Come say hi. We'll probably have our Chrome swag on. We might be giving out some Chrome socks and stuff, so you never know. And then we will most likely be at VMworld or whatever the renaming is for that, or VMware Explorer, or I think, or something like that, if they're doing it in person. So we're everywhere.
Looks like in-person events are back.
Yes, I've already done 2 in the past month. I was at HIMSS. That was an interesting conference.
All right. So the big question, Alex, is: have you heard if Next is going to be in person or not yet?
I don't know many details on that. I am sorry to tell you that I don't know. Our marketing team has kind of kept us out of, in the dark on that one. So, don't know.
Still
Ian, no, Ian McLeod. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I apologize. You mentioned that Citrix has been a challenge for you to keep updated. The one I'm working on for Citrix is the Citrix Meraki. Or is it Cisco? Yeah, Citrix Meraki, right? Or is it Cisco Meraki?
Cisco Meraki.
Cisco. Too many. Sorry. So Cisco Meraki is the one I'm putting together. Citrix, from keeping updated, you should be able to use our admin console to do the same thing as you do now. The only downside, I don't know if I spoke on the last call, last one, Jesse, about VDI environments with, but I'll just do a refresher on that. We look at the hardware ID of an OS in Windows to do the assignment of that device to our console, right? That's how we generate the DM token, or the unique ID of the device. Unfortunately, VMware and Citrix don't make it easy to do that, because they allow an admin to reuse that hardware ID, especially from an instant clone perspective, right? A lot of admins are guilty of not sysprepping their image correctly. So in that instance, you might have one record of all of your VDI devices in the admin console. They're still fully managed. You just have incorrect reporting. So what I always tell my customers is, for your VDI environments, create an OU, call it black hole or whatever you want to call it. Dump all of your VDI devices there, and they'll just be fully managed. Just the reporting is going to be a little whack. You're either going to have a device record for every single instance of that instant clone, and if those get cleared out, every 30 minutes or whatever it may be, you might find a ton of device records. Or if you're sharing that same hardware ID for all of your images, then you might have one record for all of them. And then for those 50 million records that you get generated, we are working on having an auto delete function from the console. So any sort of stale record that's stale after X number of days, you can have it delete automatically from the console. And on that topic, I know I mentioned the DM token a little bit. It's in the pipeline. It's being worked on right now. Hopefully this quarter as well, or next quarter, we're working on automating the removal of the DM token, so your users don't have to go, or admins don't have to go and clean up that DM token record from the registry or wherever it resides on macOS if they do an unenrollment from our console. So hopefully that should streamline if you're ever doing unenrollments and re-enrollments. Yeah. I know I dumped a lot of information.
Well, anybody, if you have questions, dump them in the chat. Go ahead, Steve.
So I know one thing we talked about, I think on episode 10 of the Workspace Recap podcast, was that the Chrome, the managed Chrome browsers profiles was limited to 20 in the admin console, and I reached out to created a bug, the Bugganizer portal, and it sounds like they are working on expanding that to 35 profiles now. I gave them some context as to why I needed to see more profiles in there. So I think that might be happening. We'll see.
Yeah, I saw there was some traction on that bug for you.
Yeah.
And that was a CR bug, not Bugganizer. Let's kind of
CR bug. Oh yeah, okay.
Our terminology correct.
Okay.
CR bug is our public bug tracking system. It's the Chromium bug tracker that anyone can go and open up bugs on. And our Bugganizer is our internal bug system that no one outside of Google has access to.
Got it.
Best practice for all of the customers, go to crbug.com/wizard. Follow that wizard and make sure when you tag any sort of bugs that you open up, tag them as enterprise. Usually enterprise bugs get a little more attention because the team is a lot smaller. They'll take a look at it really quickly, and then after that they'll get assigned accordingly to whoever, right? He can also CC me on those bugs, and let me know. Of course, don't just CC me just to CC me, but let me know. Shoot me an email or whatever. Hey Alex, I got issues with this this thing that's going on in Chrome. I opened up a bug. Can you please escalate it, and I'll do my best to help you guys out. Hook you guys up with that. Easiest thing to get in touch with me, alexbauer@google.com, or you've seen that Chrome guide talk on this Workspace Recap presentation. You can reach me at chromeguy@google.com. It's the same inbox. So, yeah.
Awesome. Do we want to go to our questions from the audience, Steve?
Yeah, sure, we could do that. So this is one that we received from Marcus over in Germany. Marcus, I think, is a frequent listener to the podcast. I think also attended a lot of our events and Workspace Admins as well in the past. So the question that he had was regarding the Chrome profile management and the inability to merge them, for example. And that functionality was removed a while back, and it was due to kind of the reasoning was that consumers were unaware that they were really being they were data into, let's say, corporate profiles. And there's quite a few CR bugs issues that kind of relate to this now. As I found, one, it's linking to another, the other one's blocking this. So it seems like from some of the feedback that I was seeing from some of the Googlers on those issues is that there is some progress being made to bring back that functionality in some way. And, there are some policies to force profiles, things like that. So, one of the issues that I saw was linked data option missing from profile sync. There's also an issue called policy for enabling the linking of data during profile creation on managed devices. And then I think that one was also now linking to another issue, which is multiple profiles created when onboarding with third-party IDPs. So, I think Alex, you were tagged on one of those. I think that second
Yeah.
issue, ending in 5.9, and it doesn't seem like there's some priority being made there. It seemed like it was getting added into the Q2 OKRs, is what one of the Googlers said, to bring this functionality back. So I guess what we're looking at is, we know that was removed, and can you confirm that that functionality is being prioritized in some way to bring it back, hopefully?
Yeah, I know that there were a couple of unhappy people, couple being more than a couple.
Yeah.
um, so I think as you said, like people weren't aware that their stuff was getting merged. So I mean, I think the stance that one of the PMs I was talking to has that is you either should be doing a Google identity, either personal or whatever, or you should go offline, right? One or the other, right? Doing that mixed thing kind of just creates a lot of complications, as you're kind of seeing now. But with that aside, yes, they have heard the feedback. I think some people screamed loud enough that the feedback was taken. They will be offering a policy that will give you the flexibility to allow the merging of data or to force a new profile. I forget all the options that will be in that policy, but there will be something coming out. It's in our, as you said, Q2 pipeline. Q2 is over the next 3 weeks, so 3 months, all right? So that puts us on the next 2 to 3 Chrome releases. So they're definitely working on it. They've heard the feedback for sure.
And in one of those issues, I did publish a temporary workaround. So, if you absolutely have to merge profiles, it is still possible. It just requires a mobile device to do it. So
Yeah.
you have to, use your Android or iOS device and sign in to your browser there, and then on a consumer side of consumer profile, remove it, and then sign into the work profile. And there's ways to kind of merge it that way. So
Yeah, it's quite an involved workaround, and so I'm thinking for those
it is.
users out there that are impacted, um, I don't know how much work you want to put them through, but yes,
It's
um, especially
yeah.
if an executive's impacted because they weren't doing things as they should, right? I'm thinking that those are the ones that usually scream the loudest. Um, yeah, I'm sure that they're gonna have someone do the work for them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's one of the biggest ones, and yes, we're definitely working on. Um, I had one, and I just forgot about it. Another thing that was coming out. Anyways, too many things happening that it's kind of a blur.
I know last time we were kind of looking at some of the roadmap items that were coming up. Is there anything maybe on that doc that we might have missed that we could
Oh,
discuss
I'll look
here?
through. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I remember what I was going to say. For our Mac folks out there, as of Chrome 100, we are officially faster than Safari. So take that, Apple. Um,
Oh yeah,
so
saw that.
I know they were super happy about that, and we're definitely working on more and more improvements from that perspective. So I'm looking through our roadmap to see what else is coming out. I think some folks were asking for like a minor version of Chrome when you're doing update management. I know that's somewhere in the pipeline at some point for us to support. Um, we are working on redoing the settings page. That's one of the biggest ones. I just got the invite to sign up for, and all the snow is gone. To sign up for testing that UI. I'll start doing that sometime soon. But I know that that list was getting a little challenging, so we're definitely putting a lot of effort into upgrading that. I think they're also trying to do some sort of like workflows where tutorial style workflows when you sign up for an admin console, they're gonna remind you, hey, to go ahead and do these things, or you should be doing X, Y, Z if you're doing, Chrome management or whatever, and it kind of guides you to the setting directly. So they're working on some improvements from that perspective. They definitely have a couple of UX folks actively working on a lot of things. So that's one thing that we're working on. Release changes. I'm looking through everything that we have in the release note in the pipeline. A lot of focus on our Beyond Corp Enterprise is probably there. App and extension details should be coming out soon. I really like what I'm seeing with that page. Let me see if I can share my screen. Up until now, when you clicked on the details of an extension, let me see if I can. I'm gonna definitely make it bigger for you guys to read. So when you went into reports, apps and extension report, and you clicked on an extension, it used to just open up this section on the side that was really, I would say, janky, looked kind of weird. So they're definitely working on improving that. So TabbyCat is my favorite one to pick on, but it looks like this now. You get a lot of more details about the extension, a lot more details about permissions, exactly who are the notorious, the guilty users of using such extension that they probably shouldn't. And then you can set up a policy for an extension right here, and it's really cool because it's very granular for each. You can set up an overarching policy at the global level or whatever, and then you can drill down into each OU and set up the policy there. This is also really useful if you're doing extension management. And if I go to, like, for example, I don't know, TabbyCat in here again, you'll have to navigate to each OU to set up a policy, right? So now you can just set up the policy directly from the details page. So I'm pretty excited about that. The manage browser list, you'll see that now you don't have that to use that checkbox to show all OUs. Now there's an option to say all browsers, and it shows you all browsers. So minor incremental changes that make, I think, a lot of impact from a UX perspective to make things look cleaner and better. So we're working on it.
We got no substitute in the chat over here. Was saying, since I've been fairly hard with my users to force them to be properly synced, it wasn't a disaster when I forced a separate profile for Workspace, but some did lose their content, and then followed up and said, when I soon enable CAA, I'm hoping it will pick up the stragglers, which may be the last group of unsynced users. Would be nice if they didn't lose content also.
So maybe no substitute. You can wait a little bit until we give you that policy, and then you don't have to impact those stragglers. And I'm assuming CA is the context-aware access.
Yeah. Aware access. Yeah. That's Kim, by the way. No substitute. Kim Nelson, over in Sweden.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of, they're just looking at some policy workspace under security, and the I think it was called the data rules and security there. Chrome is showing up as an option, and it seems like that Chrome security option is only available if you have the Beyond Corp add-on. Is that correct, or is that going to come with any of the Enterprise Plus environments, or is that only going to be Beyond
Beyond
Corp?
Corp Enterprise is where you would focus on all those security things that you're talking about, like DLP and some of the other stuff. That's part of Beyond Corp Enterprise, and so you set up the policies in Chrome, and then you don't have to enable or deploy any sort of software. That's what Beyond Corp Enterprise's goal is for everything, right? No agents. It should just work out of the box. So you install Chrome, sign into the profile, and bada bing, bada boom, right? You're good to go. You're managed. You're secure. If you're doing, I know that our Beyond Corp Enterprise folks don't focus so much about the network piece as well. I personally think that's one of the biggest ones as well, is the network access, where it's VPN-less access into your corporate resources, right? That's what we use here at Google. I just sign into my browser and I just can do my work, right? I don't have to worry about, am I using Global Protect or whatever other VPN that might be on the market, right, that people are familiar with. It just works for me out of the box. And it's using some of those context-aware rules to figure out if you have access to certain resources or not. Are you trusted or not? So yeah. No substitute said that he lost the remote access to Chromebooks. I don't know if that's I don't do much on that side, but I would assume that you should have not lost their trusted tester interface. So maybe get in touch with us, the guys that enabled you the trusted tester access for that, and then let them know you don't have it, and they should be able to get you access to it again.
Speaking of remote devices with Chrome OS, that's actually one of the ones that I want to bring up next. Is an update from the last version or two that jumped out at me. Is that you can apparently now access Chrome OS devices, manage Chrome OS devices remotely, as long as they are version 78 or later for the kiosk devices, or 96 or later for user and managed guest session devices. I was wondering, I mean, this would be a game changer for us. Is one of the things that I got pushback on when I started pushing to roll out Chrome OS to everybody in the organization, saying, well, we can't necessarily just jump on and help a user, or we don't have remote access to everything like we have ConnectWise for all the rest of our devices. Can you give us a little details on that? I think that's a game changer and something that wasn't really publicized.
I don't know much about it, I'll be honest. I'm assuming that that's probably what No Substitute ran into as well.
Yeah, it's GA now. So
maybe they took him off of it because it's going GA, and of course, as we do GA, we don't just enable it 100% to everyone. So I'm thinking that No Substitute got caught in the middle, where got taken off the trusted tester, and they're slowly rolling it out, and he's not part of the coveted few that have it's been enabled to. So that's what I would think. I would assume, and it might just take them a couple of weeks to roll it out 100%. He said that's the thing that disappeared. Have no fear, it's coming back, most likely. Yeah.
Very
But
cool.
in the interim, No Substitute can reach out and say, "Hey, it's gone. Why is it gone? Can you put me on? Can you enable it for me if it's GA?" And they might be able to just do a manual enablement for him.
All right. What was the other? I think we had another question here from the audience. Steve, did you cover both of them?
I think I had the one from the form that Marcus submitted on, and I don't know. I've only seen one there. If you had ones from your forums, I don't have them in our notes.
No.
Or do we? Do I? Oh, wait. Wait a minute. There they are. Hold on. I think there's somewhere here. I thought maybe you put them somewhere.
Looking through the chat as well, we talked about Android support for Flex. I don't know if that's coming out. Ian, I'm sorry about your executives being impacted. That's what they get for using Macs. I'm kidding.
I'm on a Mac.
Kidding. I'm on a Mac too. I shouldn't say anything. I have a Chromebook and a Mac. I love both of them equally. Screen recording, yep. Group management, we talked about that. Citrix, we talked about that. Then we talked about the profile stuff and remote desktop. I think we covered everything.
I think we did. Yeah, I think it was Jesse was the questions from last night's episode I was thinking of around legacy and G Suite stuff. So that was it.
Right. All right. Well,
here's an interesting one for you, Alex.
I remember one. I remember one really quick.
Okay.
I think in 101 or 102, we are officially finally done with non-inclusive policies. If any of you guys are still not migrated to the new policies that don't have blacklist, whitelist in the name, you're gonna be impacted. So please don't be those guys that are impacted. Please go and update your policies. I can't stress enough on that. Because yeah. You'd be surprised how many.
So this is going to be impacting people that are maybe using like Windows ADMX policies and those terms in their GPOs, essentially, right?
As well as Mac folks that push
Mac. Well, right,
policy
Mac. Yeah, of course, yeah.
Directly from
Mac
as a managed preference from the MDM. Is another one that's really big, right? Is please go and do a quick walkthrough to all of your policies and make sure you don't have anything that deals with white and black, please update your stuff. You don't want to have people call you and say, "Hey, my extensions disappeared when I updated to Chrome," and then to blame everything on Chrome when you just fell behind on your settings. Um, you'd be
How does that work
surprised.
in terms of a timing perspective? You know, is there a window right now where both terms are accepted?
Yeah,
Is that
for the
okay?
past, I think 15 versions of Chrome, we've been supporting that in parallel. So if you are pushing anything with blacklist and whitelist, we are doing like an in code translation. So we would take that and then tell Chrome that there's a policy with allow list and block list that's been deployed, right? And so we're gonna be just removing that translation. Um,
Okay. Right.
Steve, did you have another question you wanted to ask?
No, it's kind of unrelated to Chrome. I doubt Alex will know it, but I can ask him anyways, and maybe he can, you know, reach out to some people. um, it's actually related to like the unique IDs that we have, you know, with our Google identities. And as we move, you know, a lot of us are moving away from the G Suite legacy environment with this, you know, no cost option that doesn't have domains or user management. I'm wondering, are our unique IDs going to remain the same? And so that's a question that I've been wondering from
I
Google.
would think if you change Google Workspace licenses, it's just the subscription change on the back end and the billing stuff. And
Well, that's the thing. Like it's a really weird situation where it's, you know, right now in an admin console, you know, with the old G Suite stuff, and what they're saying in the help article right now is that you're going to have this option to move away from your domain and have just a personal account, and everything gets migrated for like all your purchases. So I would imagine that the UID stays the same because I'd
yeah,
imagine that it's just a username change. So I would think that it's changing from, you know, user@domain.com to user@gmail.com and retaining the UID. So for any third-party applications that, you know, rely on the
oh,
UID, authentication still works. And then of course for any third-party applications that rely on email address, you know, that would break,
I,
just like with any kind of migration
I'm
that you
not
do with Google.
familiar with the domain change.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
they're doing the full domain change or if they allow you to
right.
keep it.
Yeah,
So I'll be honest on that. I know no substitute asked another question.
sure.
If
Yeah, you can
there
stick to
should be a
Chrome here.
consistent change on the allow and deny list. Yes, the change is literally whitelist becomes allow list. So white becomes allow, and then black becomes block. So that's the one that is going to be the logic there.
Yeah, well, I guess, I mean, to kind of correlate it back to, let's say, Chrome, if I am signed into Chrome and synced with my G Suite legacy identity, are all of my Chrome bookmarks and history going to remain synced with my new Gmail account? I think that, okay, there you go. Now I can tie it back to Chrome. There's one for you.
I don't know. I would assume that what they'll do is they'll just do an alias to to the name, and then at some point they'll remove the old domain. I would assume, and in that instance, it's the same Google ID, like the same ID,
Yeah,
account number that we look at in the backend.
right.
So
Yeah,
I would think that from that perspective, there should be no
right.
impact.
Yeah, because that's now, you know, with the user rename on a workspace environment, is that there is no impact. You know,
Yeah.
the name that you see in your, you know, Chrome profile just gets renamed. You have the new email address there, and things are seamless. So I'm
It should
thinking
be
that
the
that is
same
going to be
way.
the same way with this rename. Yeah.
It should be the same way, but as you know, as they always say, trust but verify.
Hmm.
So, uh, yeah.
All right. Well, this has been our first ever Chrome update. Let us know, everybody in the chat, or any of the ways to get in touch with us. Did you like it? Did you not like it? better pace, more organization next time, more questions next time. What should we focus on? Let us know what you think. You can reach Steve and I through all of our normal channels at Workspace Recap on Twitter and workspacerecap.com. And Alex, you said that you are just Alex Bauer at Google or a Chrome guy at google.com, right?
Correct. And then I think maybe another idea, I think we talked a little bit about this. If any of our customers or listeners or viewers would like to be guinea pigs into onboarding to Chrome browser management, and we can do a session where we walk through onboarding into the system. Of course, that will probably be more than an hour, but we can get them to onboard, do a limited subset of policies, a limited extension management. Once again, talk about policy precedence and so forth and whatnot. And so, yeah, that if anyone wants to be guinea pigs, we can work on that.
We can definitely do that.
We have one. I probably still have a few more minutes here, but we do have one more question that just came in. Nicholas Hansen was mentioning or asking if there's any news on app licensing feature parallel.
I think my answer is, I don't know.
I'm not sure what that is. Do you know? I'm not sure what that question is. Do you?
Talking about like in Google Admin Console, you can tie in your Parallels license when you're doing Chrome management if you want to enable Parallels on your Chromebooks.
Oh, right.
I don't know anything else that, yeah. No substitute likes it. Okay. So
Awesome.
at least no substitute likes our session idea.
If we don't have a volunteer, then I'll volunteer. I've got a domain that we can do this on, and we can schedule this for a couple weeks from now or something. And I think that'd be fantastic. I think there's a lot of people that don't really understand the power that is available here, the capabilities that are able to be done, and so perhaps having a just a getting started rollout best practices across the board would be really helpful. No substitutes is also for Chromebooks. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that I would preferably love to, if we found a customer that would be like completely virgin from anything Google products in a sense, to help them enroll into the console as well. So kind of walk them through how to set it up, validate the domain. But we can also take a customer that already has current console and how to just do Chrome management.
I do have someone in mind that is a Google Workspace customer that will be launching probably around July timeframe. So,
Ashton asked something about the URL. If I'm thinking this correctly, is something we were planning on doing. I don't know if we're still doing this or not. Maybe just Edge, took the ahead of the game, I guess, enabled that ahead of us. But we were working on only displaying the domain URL, and that's it, and not showing the other stuff at the end of the URL. It might be a policy or setting that you can do that, or it's out and it's just slowly rolling out. One of those features like tab grouping that took 3 months to roll out to everyone. It might be something like that. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for coming, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. You'll get not only these wonderful events that we're doing, but also our weekly Google Workspace Recap show that we're doing both here and in the podcast world. So if you prefer audio, it's also available on all of your favorite platforms. But also any of the Tab Geek shows that we're doing, we've got a couple of Google Sheets expert tips in there, as well as our Heroes of IT show. And don't tell anybody, but we've got a SaaS Showdown, a new show that's starting. We're going to release the entire first season in one shot in the next couple of weeks, and that'll be all about how to basically manage, tame, and retain your sanity when managing SaaS. And maybe we'll get some other topics going in there as well. So trying to create a wealth of information for everybody from our YouTube channel. It's free for everybody. Please, all you got to do is sign up, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time on, I got to come up with a catchier name for this, Chrome and Managed Browser Quarterly Update.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
We got a Colin in there, just is one of our hosts for SaaS Showdown. He just did a wave in the chat. So hi, Colin.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to hit stop recording here. I think it's going to stop the live. Thanks all, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.